afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to iTrain's and Skymind's webinar on how to begin a career in AI and be in demand. So my name is Elizabeth, and I will be the moderator of today's webinar, and I'm the community manager at iTrain Asia. And today we are joined also by Sharifa Noor Isma, who is the Vice President of Talent Development at Skymind. We're joined also by Amar Mon Adam, who is the Deep Learning Engineer at Skymind, and also Fariza Al-Ghifari, who is the Deep Learning and Data Science Intern at Skymind. So briefly, before we start, I would like to introduce you to iTrain Asia and Skymind's new project on how to fast-track your career as a deep learning engineer with a minimum starting salary of 4,000 ringgit if you're successfully complete the course. So you can take part in a growing industry and be among the first 25 to qualify for a job with Skymind today. Skymind is the world's first dedicated AI ecosystem builder, enabling companies and organizations to develop their own AI applications and provide them with the tools to be innovators in their industry. Through partnerships with leading public and private industry organizations, Skymind is developing the AI infrastructure and generating real-world solutions. And here you can have a look at the Skymind's office in Penang. So, you can be a part of a fast-track deep learning engineering training program that includes 1 month in-class intensive reskilling with a job awaiting you upon successful completion. So the requirements are to have credit in mathematics and English, have a college university graduate and be a working professional, have a degree in STEM-related fields like computer science, information technology, software engineering, mathematics, physics, statistics, science, and so on. You have to be a Malaysian citizen, and there are no age restrictions for this program. And one more requirement is that you have not been part of the other Penjana HRDF programs, and you are able to commit throughout a 1 month program. So you can register your interest at our website, and the program duration is from 2nd to 21st of November this year. And so now briefly about iTrain Asia, who is the certification body of this degree. So we are the pioneers and leaders in tech learning, and at iTrain we believe in 2 core principles: the power of technology to shape the future and help us build a better world, and the love of learning is the source of human ingenuity and well-being. Our goal, which is backed by government and academia, is to fast-track Asian businesses with the latest technology applications and know-how. So these are some of the courses apart from the micro degree deep learning engineer program. We also have mobile development, blockchain, data science, Internet of Things, AI, fintech, digital marketing, and cybersecurity courses at iTrain. And these are some of the clients we have worked with before, who we've helped to empower their businesses. And as you can see, they're from many strategic sectors such as finance, technology, industry, and manufacturing. So that is about iTrain Asia. And now I would like to ask everyone who's going live, watching this video live, if you could comment in the Facebook comment section that you can hear us clearly, and that, yes, if you have any questions also throughout the webinar, please write them in the Facebook comment section. But as most of you have sent in the questions prior, we will address the questions on first hand that were sent in beforehand, and if we have enough time, then we will answer the rest of the questions. What else is, not all of the questions that were sent in before will be answered. Therefore, we will be sending out to all of the people who registered, we will be sending out a follow-up email where you will find also the questions and answers section. So, and here in the chat, you can see yes, so in the chat, you can also see the link for more information on the micro degree program, and also if you would be so kind to fill in the feedback form after the webinar so that we can know how to improve in our further webinars. But with this, I would like to start with the fireside chat with our guests today. So to all speakers whom I introduced at the start, but once again is Sharifa, Ammar, and Fariza. And so I would like to ask each one of you, what is your role in Skymind? And Sharifa, perhaps you could start.
Yes. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. How are you?
Good afternoon. Very well, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to you and iTrain for having us today. So as a start, maybe I'll just share my role in Skymind. I am the lead for talent development here at Skymind. And my role is basically to build a sustainable talent foundation for the ecosystem. So what does it mean by that? So you see, in many scenarios, digital talent was defined as someone who knows how to interact in a digital environment, such as social media and software used for work. But in today's demand, your skill must make business sense in a digitized world. And to do this, to get our talent aligned to industry requirement, we have several key initiatives which includes our collaboration with learning institutions to define the curriculum to prepare them to churn out more AI-ready graduates. We also work with industry partners to conduct professional certifications and employability programs that ultimately work towards building a healthy pool of AI talents in Malaysia, as well as the region.
Okay, thank you, Sharifa. Yes, Ammar.
Okay, so my current role is as a deep learning engineer. So what is a deep learning engineer? So basically my role here is I work in the operations. My role here is to implement all the solutions together with the client using AI. But it's not limited to deep learning specifically, but we are mostly taking advantage of the advancement in this area to do the AI solutions. So this includes from end-to-end processes, starting from data labeling, or even in some cases we have to do data creation, and followed by doing training, model evaluation, and last but not least is the deployment. So this is basically the role as a deep learning engineer here in Skymind.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Fariza.
Hey guys, my name is Fariza and my job title is Data Science and Deep Learning Intern. So primarily my sport is in supporting engineers to develop solutions for real world problems using AI. So I guess if I had to elaborate, that would be data collection and cleaning, analyzing them, doing some experiments, and then tweaking the deep learning models. When necessary, we also do something called RPA or robotic process automation into our workflow. So one thing I'd like to highlight is although we do a lot of software and a bit of and some hardware as well, the engineers go out to the field to like experiment and look out how exactly can our solution work in the real world. So it's really nice to go to do field work.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. And to Sharifa, as an AI company, what is Skymind's role in building the AI ecosystem?
Building an AI ecosystem is important if we need to encourage healthy growth of development and deployment of AI innovation. For Skymind, in order to create great innovations, there are 4 core elements that need to be built. Number 1, we need to develop the right AI talents. Number 2, to offer good AI core technology to support the development of a solution. Number three, the right AI venture building, which includes finance and mentorship. And lastly will be the AI sovereignty. Not all companies who are doing or helping in the development of AI can offer all these four elements, but Skymind fortunately can enable all four. So Skymind provides clients with world-class support and access to its open source AI and machine learning platform known as Deep Learning 4J, or in short is we call it DL4J. So this platform enables developers and large organizations to build deep learning applications covering the whole deep learning workflow from data pre-processing through a distributed training and hyperparameter optimization and production grade deployment. The goal of this platform, the L4J, is to provide a core set of components for building applications that incorporate AI. Currently, more than about 350 of Fortune 500 companies are currently using Skymind technologies. We also provide global capital funding for promising AI innovation, as well as running talent development initiative. In short, we are more than just AI tech company. Our goal is to develop the industry as a whole.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And with that, what is Skymind's plan for Malaysia for the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, Skymind aims to grow and boost the AI ecosystem in Southeast Asia. And as mentioned earlier, one of the important elements in ensuring we deploy a successful AI innovation is a good AI talent. We need to develop and grow good AI-ready talent. We believe that Southeast Asia has the necessary talent to make it a hub for a global AI industry. So by fostering and developing a scalable method to train and provide employment for AI talent in the region, we know that this will help the industry to grow faster. Earlier this year, you guys, saw the news. Skymind, through its venture arm, Skymind Global Venture, launched a 3.4 billion investment fund to support the advancements of the AI ecosystem. So this fund will back the global businesses specializing in AI, support the independent research and university program that are focused in AI. So the aim of the Skymind funds is actually to make its portfolio of venture-backed companies profitable and to nurture the development of AI innovation around the world. Skymind has identified 6 startups through the Skymind Launchpad program back in Q1 this year. And we saw great talents from Malaysia, Singapore, China, Japan, and Australia. And what really interesting is that they are all ready to move and incubate their startups in Malaysia. With the program that we are currently conducting, we hope to see more locals in the region benefiting from from our foreign expert that we are bringing in. And with this, we hope to see more AI products or local IPs built in either Malaysia or the region.
Okay, thank you, Sharika, for sharing. And Ammar, you already shared briefly on what you do as an AI engineer. Perhaps there's something more you would like to add about the roles and responsibilities of your daily tasks.
Okay, sure. So when we speak about AI is a very broad area. To be specific, most of the time we will deal with machine learning, and more specific is deep learning as a deep learning engineer. But as an AI engineer, you have to understand from machine learning workflow as well. So this includes from the first starting with getting the data in the first place. So it could be from data mining, or in some cases you can collaborate with the company to use their own existing data set. So from there we have to do some cleaning, some data massaging, then only we can start to look on the training model. Okay, so from the training model perspective, we have so many algorithms available nowadays. It's not specific to one domain, so we can apply it for, let's say, if you want to implement image recognition, we can apply it in finance area, or it can be in engineering, civil engineering. It could be any area. So as an AI engineer, you have to be a problem solver. So you apply this AI to solve any kind of problems by using the latest development in artificial intelligence.
All right. And what would be the typical career path of an AI engineer?
Okay, so normally we will start as a junior deep learning engineer before moving on to a more advanced level, starting to go towards mid-level and then to senior level. Okay, so there are normally 3 tracks that you can diverge to, which are deep learning engineering, being the lead deep learning engineer, or you can even work towards being a data science architect, designing the architecture of a data science project. Or if you're more keen towards doing research, you can be a researcher in this area as well. A researcher in this area, which has been contributing a lot to the advancement of this artificial intelligence. So after which you can move on to a management role. You can become a data science manager or even senior researcher before becoming a lead research manager or even a research fellow. And I think I should mention as well that we also have a founder track for high-performing individuals who have the skills and capability to kick off their own startup. So in the end, we hope to see more AI products to be launched and more local IPs being developed in our country or even this region.
Okay. And what do you think? Can one choose to switch from a technical AI role to a non-technical role within the same field?
I see. Definitely yes. There are many different areas that we can explore in this AI supply chain. So I'll give you an example. So as I mentioned before, in this machine learning workflow, you can see that there are AI-related roles as well as non-AI related roles. AI-related roles for defining AI problems, which require less technically inclined for non-tech talents. We also have in terms of the business development side, you can become a project manager who help to consult with the clients on this AI opportunities that we have. So in fact, having the technical knowledge would be an extra advantage for these roles.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Now a few questions to Fariza. So when we say AI engineer, are there any different types of AI engineers, like how we have mechanical engineering, mechatronics engineering, computer engineering, and so on?
Yeah, so in AI itself, there's like a lot of branches. And currently, the current trend of AI is typically in computer vision. So self-driving cars, face recognition, and even detecting cancer. That's using computer vision. But aside from that, we have several other AI branches, such as speech recognition AIs. So you see Siri and Alexa. And then we have a field called NLP, or natural language processing AIs, which is something like AIs for chat boxes, AIs that can talk to you. And then there's also AIs to forecast time series. For example, you want to do like stock market prediction or weather prediction. And that one is just AI in software. We also have something called an AI IoT engineer that focuses on implementing the AI inside like small devices to be delivered to the client. So these are just like the very common ones that we have right now. But maybe, who knows, like maybe in 5 or 10 years, we're going to have much more AI fields. And it's really exciting to see it all evolve.
Yeah, it truly is. And perhaps you could share, what does one need to do to work in AI?
Right. I guess if you really want to study AI, there's some foundations that you need to have. Programming, maths, and some science are the backbone of AI. So, for my advice to guys who want to take into this AI field is to really get into this foundation, because a good foundation will will give you a good basis to build a AI solution. So if I had to elaborate more, if you want to be an AI engineer, you need to be skilled in programming, so Python, Java, and then you need to have some mathematical knowledge, for example, in algebra, probability, statistics, calculus, and you also need to know about the basic tools and frameworks for these AI stuff. For example, like Pandas, NumPy, Keras, PyTorch, TensorFlow, and then you need to be able to work with data, lots and lots of data. So if you are interested in this field, I would really recommend you to get in touch with somebody who is already doing AI and then ask a lot of questions. Join competitions to basically benchmark your own capability and know how far you are right now in AI.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And one more question to you is, can someone from a non-technical background change to an AI-related career?
So previously it was from non-technical to an AI related. So in AI, there's several related roles, which includes data analyst, scientist, and then we also have software developers, and then e-commerce and social media specialists. So aside from that, we have AI consultants, AI developers, project managers, which I guess don't really need the AI technical skills, but still it's related to AI. So, but all similar to what Amar said, it still needs some technical stuff that, if you know them, it would be really, really easy to work with the AI engineers.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Now, Sharifa, a few questions for you. So, if you could unmute yourself first, then yeah. So I want to ask you about the work culture in Skymind. What is it like?
Skymind is a relatively young company. The people are passionate, creative, and high-performing people. Every day is full of opportunities to have a meaningful and tangible impact. Everyone is encouraged to suggest new ideas, and our engineers are given the flexibility to work on new things.
Okay, that's good to hear. And what are the perks and benefits of working in Skymind?
I would say the possibilities are endless in Skymind, where you will be exposed to interesting use cases in various verticals. Engineers get the chance to be in the core development rather than being the end users of, say, using products and solution readily made. In essence, if you are willing to learn, you will have a very steep curve of growth in Skymind, which would advance your course of career. You learn so much and have a lot of area of improvement, and you will grow a lot with us.
All right, thank you. And what other benefits does the deep learning certification offer besides a job placement with Skymind, upon, of course, passing the exam?
The 12 days of courses cover fundamentals of machine learning and deep learning, and it goes further into building deep learning models with the L4J, the Enterprise Deep Learning Framework. You will then continue to go into computer vision use cases with state-of-the-art model with practical knowledge on how to break down computer use cases. And at the end of the day, you would be able to implement computer vision's application from end to end.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. And now I would like to ask Ammar, what is the biggest, most exciting project you have worked on in Skymind?
Okay. So to me, I would say the current project that I'm working on. So basically, we are designing an automated straight-through process for one of the insurance company in Malaysia. So to me, it's exciting because by implementing the solution that we did, we can reduce the workload of a human staff. So the improvement is going to be significant, even by just having a performance around 80%. So basically, you are reducing the workload of a human being by 80%. So if we can make it reduced by 100%, that's even more. As an engineer, that is what makes us happy. We can reduce the workload of people. And I also enjoy it because it helps to reduce, it helps to automate doing the repetitive task. And by doing that, we can reduce human error in doing the job and increase the efficiency of doing the work, so that the staff can actually focus on other stuff that is more require human being decision making, thinking skills. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And same question goes out to you, Fariza. So yeah, what is the biggest, most exciting project you have worked on?
Okay, there's a lot of interesting projects. So we have local and international clients working with us. So if I had to choose one, I guess it would be it's a fast food brand. And what it does is we're trying to assist the kitchen in that restaurant. So we're going to implement computer vision AI. So for us, for like people who come to the restaurant, like you might often hear like, why is the food taking so long? Or for example, you're just taking it for takeaway, and then you notice after you've taken it home that they packaged you wrong thing. So the AI that we're building right now would like to just completely remove that problem to help the packaging and cutting down the serving time. So our AI will like be able to generate recommendations, pack this, pack that, and point out the errors of the whole kitchen process.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And again, Fariza, so how should one prepare oneself prior to joining the certification program?
Right. So the certification program, I believe it's called the CDLE. I would really recommend you to brush up your programming skills, in particular Python and Java, because the framework that we're using is DL4J, which is deep learning for Java, and also your understanding about machine learning. So why Java? I guess for us, we can see from the client side that most of the solutions or most of their core technology is still in Java. So our system can be readily deployed over there. And by the end of this certification program, we want them to be able to just jump right into the projects that we're going to throw into them. So learn in Java, deploy in Java. This certification program will help you get ready.
Okay. And any recommendations for free online tutorials on machine learning and deep learning?
Free online tutorials. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. So the one that I like is from MIT or Stanford. They're very informative, so you can find them online. I do recommend for you to go to websites or maybe go through courses which is not older than maybe 2 or 3 years old, because the technology that we're building right now is actually moving very fast. For example, TensorFlow, we have like TensorFlow version 1, 2, 3, 4. And if say the course gives you some hands-on and it's the old version, it might you might face a problem later on if you want to deploy some solutions. And aside from that, of course, build some foundations, which I've mentioned earlier, your mathematics, statistics, and yeah, and more hands-on basically.
Okay. And so AI has the capability of automating repetitive tasks such as in accounting and finance where calculations are involved. And so this question will go out to all of you. So are jobs at risk of being replaced by machines? Sharifa, what do you think? You'll have to unmute yourself first. I'm sorry, Sharifa. Yes, now we hear you.
Okay, anything that a human can do without thinking is something that deep learning can probably do today. And in your job is 8 hours of doing something without thinking, then yes, your job is technically in trouble. Um, our experience is that very rarely is anybody's job 8 hours of this menial task. On the contrary, these tasks are the part people hate most about their jobs, like data entry from handwritten receipt, for example. And AI usually means something that previously took an hour in 10 minutes, and having the time to do something else, or double checking the AI's output while enjoying a cup of coffee so that your boss doesn't have to. With accounting and finance, while it seems repetitive and redundant, it does involve a lot of decision making and analytical skills, which human involvement is fundamental. So, on some level, it can be assisted by AI. Yet, I believe it in which most of the important processes will still need to be managed by domain expert. But I always tell people our job won't be replaced, but somehow or other it will evolve. Um, Many jobs will disappear, and new jobs that are created will leave many young people behind. So those with lower skills will find themselves in insecure jobs and lower paid working condition. So I always tell people that to take advantage of the fourth IR, which we still need an army of people with a variety of tech and cognitive skills. For me personally, AI fundamentals remain uniform regardless of industry sectors. And AI is set to become mainstream in the years ahead, where human and machine to coexist side by side within organizations.
Okay, thank you for your view. Anwar, what is your opinion on this?
Okay. To me, as I mentioned my own experience, I have seen that by implementing this AI, we are first reducing the workload, and then as I mentioned, is improving the efficiency, and we are reducing the error in of human error. And the other thing about AI is nowadays AI has the capability of replacing the decision making that normally humans do. So not only doing repetitive things, it can even suggest some improvement suggestions or how to do things better, or how can a human do it better for all this repetitive stuff. Yeah, basically, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Fariza, so yeah, well, are jobs at risk of being replaced by machines? And perhaps you could also add on what should we prepare to face an era where workers would be replaced by AI? You should unmute yourself.
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
So, what should we prepare? So I just remember there was this article I read this year. It was something about automation will take jobs, but AI will create them. And I kind of think that's true because automations will make some jobs redundant, but this AI stuff will actually create more opportunities for more jobs. So like the previous speakers have already mentioned, like repetitive stuff, like putting stuff in Excel or doing repetitive tasks that's where we can automate things. But this AI industry will create much more jobs. For example, computer vision engineers or IoT engineers, and this is actually not something new. So if I had to take a case from back before, we had horses, for example, for transportation. And then in the industry for the transportation, we have like people who build the carriage, people who build the wheels, and so on and so forth. But then those are replaced by the automotive industry. So it's like an upgrade. And that's also, if we can take another example, for example, the internet. So previously we have manual written letters, but now it's totally replaced with SMS and emails and so on and so forth. So yes, some of the jobs will maybe be replaced, but at the same time, new and much more jobs will be generated. And one thing I like to basically add on to what the previous speakers have already mentioned was I like the quote that the AI will take the robot out of the humans. What it means is something like this. So, in the end of the day, I believe that there are jobs that cannot be replaced by AIs. For example, like law, or for example, mental health jobs, like those that really need the human. But what AI will replace is something like those really boring tasks and jobs, so humans can work their best to become humans.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for pointing that out. So, Anmar, which industry has the most number of AI jobs? Do you know?
Interesting. AI actually cuts across many different industries. It covers from like Farida mentioned, food and beverages, and then we have manufacturing, we have transportation, logistics, security, and many more. I think the easier question, if you want to ask me, is which area that AI doesn't improve, which area that it doesn't create jobs. I think it's practically none.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for answering that. So, Sharifa, a bit more on the technical aspects of the program. So, can self-employed candidates join this program, and can people who are not Malaysians join this program?
Okay. Can a self-employed candidate join the program? Yes, as long as they meet the prerequisite criteria set by Skymind. For example, you need to pass the online entrance test, and you have to go through the interview process. And you are deemed to have the foundation knowledge required, and then you'll be able to join our deep learning certification program. Whether we are open to non-Malaysian. Yes, non-Malaysian can apply for our program. Though I do need to mention that due to the recent changes in travel restriction and border control imposed by the government of Malaysia, hiring of non-Malaysians may also be affected. Depending on the visa application process, the applicant may be required to return to their home country before entering Malaysia again. However, the new travel restriction that were recently announced may affect the applicant's re-entry into Malaysia. So we would strongly advise non-Malaysian who are looking to join the certification program to conduct their own due diligence on the relevant SOPs and travel restriction before applying for the program.
Okay, thank you for the insights. And so, Amar, what is the program about, and how do people transition to it?
Okay, so this certification program is for those who are looking to how to enter the AI workforce, and or even for the current AI professionals who are looking to how to upskill themselves. So here in Skymind, we want to create an AI ready workforce in anticipation of the IR 4.0, which will be coming. We want to make sure that our talents are readily prepared for whatever the future that may come and whatever that will bring.
Okay, and Fariza, what do you think? What are the most treasured benefits you as an employee you are receiving?
Well, in benefit, huh? Well, I guess working in Skymind itself is a benefit for me, because being an AI engineer was always been like what I always wanted to do. That was my study. So being a part of a team of a company with the latest AI development is it's really amazing. Working together and reimagining the future of how AI will build the future. So if I have to say what's the most most biggest benefit, is basically being in the AI hub for this development.
Okay, great. Good to hear. And Sharifa, how many employees you have now, and how many are you planning to hire? And just need to unmute yourself.
We have about more than 500 employees all around the world. In Malaysia alone, we have about 100 so far, and it's counting. We have a mix of pool of talent here in Skymind, Malaysia. Range of mix of AI data annotator specialists, AI engineers, business development, project managers, and so forth. But we are looking to expand our team, and in fact, we plan to hire up to 600 AI professionals within the next year alone.
Oh yeah, that's a very substantial number. And also, for you, a question, Sharifa. How has COVID-19 affected the company?
To be honest, it hasn't really had much of an impact on the company. All our staff are quite used to work remotely and having the virtual meetings, because we do have colleagues all over the globe, and our clientele is made up of local and international companies. Though I should highlight that because of COVID-19, companies have become more accepting of automation and digitalization. COVID has irreversibly changed how we work, and businesses now realize that in order to survive, they need to embrace technology to help sustain their operations.
Yeah, very true. And yeah, one more question for you is about the course suitability. Is it suitable for a programmer who has already worked for more than 10 years? And yes, so then the confirmed job opportunity would be provided if they pass the exam, correct?
This program is suitable for anyone looking to advance their skills and knowledge in the deep learning field, particularly in the area of computer vision. It doesn't matter if you are a fresh graduate or long-time working professional in the field of AI. You can participate as long as you meet the prerequisite criteria and you wish to reskill or upskill yourself. And yes, there will be a job offer upon passing the deep learning certification exam, though this will be subject to certain due diligence processes by our human resource.
Yeah, true. So Amar, how long did it take for you to become an AI engineer? But also, yeah, if one takes the program, how long will it take for the person who takes the program to become an AI engineer?
Okay, so the certification program itself under iTrain will take around 15 days, and 1 day for the deep learning examination. So it's not the easiest exam in the world, but it's not impossible as well. The training duration does require a certain level of commitment from the participants. So the key here is to be persistent in keeping up with the training, as well as the hands-on assignments and projects. And once you pass the exam, you will be offered a job placement with Skymind, where you will be given the title of Junior AI Engineer. In fact, that is specifically how I joined Skymind in the first place.
All right, great to hear. And Fariza, so can those with beginner skills in software engineering join?
Right. Software engineering, I guess programming. Okay. So it actually, you have to maybe depending on what does the beginner actually mean. But I recommend at least some knowledge in Java and of course Python, and you need to know some mathematical parts, which is really important for the deep learning technical skills. So later on, when you're taking your CDLE training and test, this will be like a 15-day training. But typically, the content of this training is like there's a lot of things. So when you go there, I really recommend you guys to like be familiar with the language. So when you're doing the training, you're not learning the language, but rather knowing how to apply it. And yeah, the course itself is comprehensive, and there's going to be hands-on exercises. So you guys will learn how to do it, not only teaching. All is good for you, what I recommend is just to do a lot of preparation. So programming, read on machine learning, deep learning, and computer vision, something like that.
Okay, great. And Sharifa, more questions to you. So, will this career be available for people working remotely?
Yeah. This is for the people who working remotely, is it?
Yes, who wish to work remotely. Is it possible for them after completion of the program?
Yeah. The certification program can be done remotely. But job placement will be either in our KL or Penang office. It will be a physical placement.
So, work from home is not a possibility for those who finished that program.
No.
No. Okay, clear. And more question to you, Sharifa, is what are the prospects of a fresh graduate in the field of AI in Malaysia? Should they look elsewhere, or you believe that there is enough opportunities for him here?
Um, from my point of view, AI is growing industry and has a huge potential. And if you look around, AI are the new kids on the employment block. Today, you can see most of the fastest growing jobs in industry across the world and upcoming jobs in the future are driven by technology development, increase of internet connectivity, rapid globalization, and as well as new business demand. Um, Many jobs are now benefiting from the greater augmentation of with AI. Hence, upskill yourself on the know-how to use these technologies, and you will make yourself more valuable and resilient, which is a key to future-proof your career. My advice to all the talent out there, especially tech student or tech graduates who are interested in pursuing AI, there is a steep learning curve ahead. There are opportunities both in Malaysia and overseas, but regardless of where you be, you will need to quickly come to grips with the many different aspects of running an AI project. That said, one of the advantages of working at Skymind is that you will get an international working experience as we have global wide presence with clientele that is spread out across different continents. So if you are up to the challenge, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, great. Thank you. And a question to Elmar. How far AI is being implemented in device production instead of just claimed as an AI supported?
Okay, I agree with that. So because sometimes a company use the term AI simply for marketing purpose, when in reality the application only uses like simple logic, such as if you input this, then the output will be this. So it's not that flexible. So AI will be able to handle and process input in a way that it's not pre-decided or hard-coded. So there are a number of devices nowadays that are already implementing AI. The easiest one would be our smartphones, where now we have facial recognition to unlock phones, and then we also have voice recognition using voice recognition for voice command, such as Siri. Uh, you can even use Waze or Google for navigation. Other than that, also in terms of taking pictures, you can take pictures using for example, using latest Huawei phone. It can tell you an estimate of how many calories it contains. So all this is made possible with AI. Of course, in the future, as we get access to a more processing power and with more efficient algorithm, we will even see more exciting applications in the future.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And Fariza, is there a distinction between what scientists and data analysts do in artificial intelligence?
Between what and what?
Between data scientists and data analysts. Is there a distinction between these two?
Okay.
AI?
So when we're talking about data, typically, okay, let me just start with how exactly does the workflow usually do. So we have a massive amount of data collected from all around us. For example, video, images, sound. So that images, those data basically need to be processed first by the data scientist. So the data scientist's primary job is basically to transform that data into something that can be digestible for the deep learning model. So you can say that that's the part of the data scientist. For the data analyst, I believe that's more to analyzing after you process it, what exactly does the data mean? Like looking through the trends, like making some graphs and see the correlation between A and B. So that's basically how data scientists and data analysts work inside this machine learning or the deep learning workflow.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And so, Sharifa, does Skymind provide any internship opportunities for math statistics students?
Yes, we do accept interns. Our criteria to be part of the interns in Skymind, the talents must be able to commit minimum of 6 months, able to be based in Penang or KL, and again, the placement will be determined by our HR based on the availability. And those out there, if you guys are interested to apply as an intern in Skymind, just email us at talent@skymind.my along with your CV and a support letter from your university. We also have apprenticeship program for those of you who are interested to pursue more technical AI career. You can actually read about our apprenticeship program at our website at www.skymind.global. And if you want to apply for our AI apprentice program, keep an eye out of on our social media channel as we will be opening application for our October intake soon.
Okay, great to hear. And does Skymind have any research collaborations with any local universities?
Yes, we have. Skymind actually is in a midst of initiating collaboration with about 8 universities for this year. And just a few weeks ago, we officially announced our partnership with University Science Malaysia, and we will be announcing more partnership soon. For the time being, our university partnership range from curriculum integration efforts to train the trainer program for lecturers to the employability training program for students. And in terms of R&D, we will be exploring joint efforts starting next year.
Okay, thank you so much. And as we are running out of time already, before I give again a brief overview of the program, maybe all of you have something you would like to add, some encouragements for the prospective applicants. Ammar, perhaps you could start if you have anything to add.
Okay. To me, this training is a good starting point for me, and I believe for most of us who are keen to go towards this area in the AI. And from my experience, I think AI is going to be a big thing in the future. And if you join now, you will be among the pioneers in this area, which is a good thing. And which is now is the right moment because it's still in its starting point and starting phase. So especially in Malaysia specifically. So hop on and join us to be engineers here.
Fariza, yeah, what do you think?
Okay, so for me, this opportunity to get into AI, typically maybe you can start from your university, start with like the computer science course, then go to AI. But then the opportunity given by I train, sorry. So this is basically the good gateway for you to kickstart your AI career path. They're giving you training, and then they're giving you the certification program. So if you are really keen in AI, I really recommend you to take the thing. So see you at Skymind.
Thank you. And final words for you, Sharifa.
We in Skymind, we are the believer that digital workforce is a vital driver of a nation's digital economic growth. Building our digital future is about talent-driven transformation. Malaysia homegrown talent has all the advantage of wide cultural links like English proficiency, creativity, and a growing interest in digital skills. So when we couple with a passion for problem solving, there are no limits for future possibilities in our AI future. And currently, Skymind is heavily expanding in various key areas. So we believe that Malaysia and especially Southeast Asia has a great deal of untapped potential, which is essential to build AI talent and an AI ecosystem that that we can compete with the largely American-dominated software industry. So with this, I think consumer will have like more choice in more robust market in the long term.
Okay, thank you all so much for your time today. And yes, thank you, Amar. Thank you, Sharifa. Thank you, Fariza. And yeah, thank you. And before I end, just so you can be a part of a fast-track deep learning engineering training program at iTrain. That includes 1 month in-class intensive reskilling with a job awaiting you upon successful completion at Skymind with a starting salary of 4,000 ringgit. And so the requirements are to have credit in mathematics and English, to have a to be a college or university graduate and working professional, have a degree in STEM-related fields like computer science, information technology, software engineering, mathematics, physics, statistics, science, and so on. Have to be a Malaysian citizen. It is preferred as there are more difficulties for foreigners to apply for this program. And there are no age restrictions. And also, another requirement is that you have not been part of other Penjana HRTF programs and that you are able to commit throughout a 1 month program. So you can register your interest at www.itrainasia.com/microdegree-form/. So all these links are also included in the Facebook comments section where you can find them. And the program starts on the 2nd of November. So yeah, be quick to apply and not miss this great opportunity. And thank you all for joining today. And if you have any questions, do reach out to us either through our email or our Facebook page. Yes, and thank you once again to our dear speakers for joining this webinar today and sharing their thoughts on the program and the future of AI.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Thank you.